A new venture for an author who's best known as a singer and member of one of the most iconic pop groups of all time, Geri Halliwell-Horner, a.k.a. Ginger Spice of the Spice Girls, is taking the girl power motto into a whole new realm. Rosie Frost and the Falcon Queen is an epic young adult novel that follows a teen who goes to a magical boarding school after the death of her mother. Our Eva Pilgrim sat down with Halliwell-Horner about her writing process, the glimpses of herself in the character Rosie, and the theme of the book, finding the true power that lies within you.
Tell us about this book.
So the world needs a new hero, and someone ordinary, imperfect. And this is an adventure with some characters in it. The lead hero, Rosie Frost, and she's finding the courage she never knew she had. It's set on Bloodstone Island, and which is, imagine like a Jurassic Park, but instead of dinosaurs, it's endangered animals. And so Queen Elizabeth I builds this school, and she says, I'm not going to have any more children. Instead, my heirs will be the pupils, their ideas. Rosie Frost, 500 years later, gets sent to this school when her mother dies. And it's full of like treachery. There's the Falcon Queen games, which is a bit like Squid Game, not quite as violent. Full of friendship. It's about finding your power.
You mentioned sort of the history of it, because Anne Boleyn is in there.
Yes.
What made you decide to put her in the book?
I love history. I love the Tudors. And so it is set in the modern day times, but this school is steeped in history. And so I thought, okay, theme the school, Queen Elizabeth I, but actually perhaps Anne Boleyn, her mother, needs redemption, because the history of her is, horrible things were written about her. But I asked myself, who wrote that about her, and is it true? And perhaps it was time for her to have redemption. So let's celebrate her. So, and she's the ghost queen in it, basically, that comes to Rosie. And she gives her the rule book that she gave to her own daughter with 4 rules in it. Very interesting rules that Queen Elizabeth I followed and became the greatest monarch of her time. And these 4 rules that could apply to your own life, or mine.
What are those rules?
Well, if anyone feels marginalised or just wants to find their power, these 4 rules are pretty useful. So the first one is, and they're simple rules, the first one is, have courage, taketh the chance you fear the most. Number 2 is, united we stand, divided we fall. I need you and you need me. Together we can get something over the line. Third one is, never give up. So that means basically that tenacity of, keep going. But why am I going to keep going? Because I want to be of service to you, to anyone that picks up that book. That's what can drive me. I can use that rule. And the fourth rule, which I think is the most important rule, and it's Shakespeare, who also went to this school, because amazing people went. It's, to thine own self be true. If you like it not these rules, make up your own. Perfect, right? Just be in your own lane, it's fine.
You look at Rosie and she has red hair.
Yeah.
Is Rosie in some way a little bit of you as well?
When you write, you can't help but put a bit of yourself in there, just a little bit, or a point of view, certain characteristics, a little bit. And they always say, write about what you know. And so there are sort of some childhood experience that she has, like she experienced grief. I lost a parent, so does she.
What made you want to write a book?
I've always loved writing. I was studying English literature before I went into music. So it's always been a passion of mine, and I love reading as well. And I think when you write, the secret you discover is that you get to decide what happens. You get to play God. Who lives, who dies, who loves, who cries. It's a really powerful thing. And let's face it, sometimes we don't have that much power in our own lives, externally. So I quite enjoy that process.
What do you hope that people take away when they read the book?
I hope in different ways, their soul feels lifted up, but then they feel enriched and empowered, and they're smiling.
Oh, but there's also a surprise in the book for people.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yes. Oh yes, yes, yes. I tell you what I did. I put music in the book. I thought, okay, I'm going to do a little gift for you, and there's 2 songs in there. So you just scan it, and you can hear the songs. They're quite crunchy. One's quite like forceful, and it's got a rap in it, and the other one's like a meaningful ballad. But they help you with the narrative.
That's very cool. I mean, I'm sure because people love, you're so loved. And I think because of the Spice Girls, so many, I mean, musicians, you think about like Adele, Beyonce, they've all shouted you guys out for what you did. You were so far ahead of your time.
Do you know what I think? If you're a creative person at any point, all you're doing is you're a voice for the voiceless. You're giving words that other people can't find themselves, but you're just listening. It's about being a good listener. Can I feel what you're feeling, and then just put that into a song or a story? And that's what I think. Rosie Frost, she is speaking how the world feels now, how you feel now. A little bit. Sometimes we feel a bit fractured. We're not as strong as we think we are. Those pressures about what's going on in the world.
So many people have an idea what you're like, and I think it will surprise them that you wrote this book and were so involved. Like, the whole concept of it is yours.
I think writing a book is probably the most intense experience because it's completely immersive, absorbing. It takes like a lot of energy, and I didn't realise that until I embarked on it, and I couldn't stop. And when you're in the middle of it, and there's other things pulling you out, it's quite hard to do that balance. But I felt compelled. Do you know what? I felt compelled, as well as a creative. But I felt, for anybody that felt disempowered or marginalised or just want to connect, that always drives me on. That's what keeps me going.
And also incorporating her musical roots as well. Our thanks to Eva for that. You can buy Rosie Frost and the Falcon Queen wherever books are sold.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.